Donald Trump seems to be adopting a strategy. I don't know if it's a strategy, but he seems to be adopting a strategy of doing lowbrow entertainment podcasts in order to try to become the president of the United States. Now, if he can do it, it would be extraordinary. I don't know that it's going to work. And the latest in this is he appeared on the Theo podcast. Trump claims that his audio was perfect during that Twitter Spaces fiasco with Elon Musk, and says that there were a lot. He says that the reason he sounded slurry was there were a lot of people coming into a cell phone, and it doesn't sound like he understands how anything works, but he's making excuses. And what's funny is, even in this video where he says he wasn't slurring his S's, he's kind of slurring his S's. So it's all kind of like, what's going on with this guy's brain?
We had an exciting event the other night with Elon Musk and me.
I listened.
We had a pretty big audience for that one, I can tell you.
Yeah, I listened for probably about like 20 minutes. I thought it was cool. It was. I think the tough part was just like it would have been neat if you guys could have been in the same spot, you know? But I still thought it was exceptional.
I heard the audio was great, and actually they put out a clear tape of it because they had clear tape.
Oh, nice.
They had so many millions and millions of people watching, like record numbers of people. And I'm trying to figure out, we're on a cell phone, or I was, and, you know, that's a lot of people coming into a cell phone one way.
That's the best. It's I don't know what Trump believes happened when he was on Twitter Spaces, but it sounds like he thinks he was on like a conference call with a million people or something. Like everybody was on his phone, and maybe that's why it sounded like he was slurring. I mean, you just can't write this stuff.
Yeah.
But I heard some people had a problem with the audio. I don't know. I don't do that thing. You know, that was done, and we had a great conversation. It was for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
He's slurring his S's in this video where he says that he wasn't slurring his S's on the Spaces.
They just put out a clear tape of it, a perfect tape of it. But yeah, I sounded. I think I sounded.
Yeah. Theo's like, I only got through 20 minutes the first time because it was so stupid. But I'll have to go back and listen again just to hear you not slurring. It's like it's the blind leading the blind.
But he said your voice was distorted or something, and you know, I guess it happens. Look, it was such a big thing, such a big audience. But I would have loved to have seen the clear tape originally. They put it out right after the show, so now it's a clear tape where a perfect tape done there.
Yeah.
But when it goes through different phone systems and everything else, you think if we were together, that doesn't happen then? Because I think his voice was more clear than mine.
Maybe because he was the one who was like initiating the call. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about how.
So I guess this may not be a podcast. This is a podcast where you would expect, you would expect podiatry to be discussed, but I would not have expected them to be all up on communications technology necessarily. Trump complains that before Elon bought Twitter, his tweets would be red flagged. And Theo says it was like having a babysitter.
Into play.
Yeah.
The previous people were terrible.
Yeah.
Every time you do a thing, you'd be red flagged. They'd put up a red flag. Every statement you made, you'd be red flagged.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like when you have a babysitter and they don't want to have any fun or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of the vibe I got.
Really just riveting stuff. In all seriousness, one of the more interesting moments, and this applies, the most interesting Trump has ever been, to me, is when he talks about why he doesn't use drugs or drink alcohol. That came up because Theo Von is in recovery. I will give credit. This is the only interesting thing I've ever, when Trump talks about shark electrocutions, it's like, oh, give me a break. This is sort of like it personalizes Trump in a way. I actually found it a little bit interesting.
Yeah. I noticed at the events, you don't drink or smoke, right?
I don't drink or smoke. No.
You never have?
No, I never have. I had a great brother who taught me a lesson. Don't drink. And he said, don't smoke. He smoked and he drank, and he was a great guy. He was a very handsome guy.
Is he older? He was older?
Quite a bit older, yeah. And he had a problem with alcohol and smoke a lot. But, I tell people, no drugs, no drinking, no cigarettes.
Yeah.
I tell that to my kids all the time. I'd say, no drugs, no drinking, no smoke. And
It was tough.
He'd always tell me, he'd say never. So he was, really old enough that you would look up to somebody, and I'd look up to him anyway.
Did you admire him?
Yeah, I admired so much about him. He had so much going. He had the look. He
What was his name?
Unbelievable personality, like an incredible personality.
What was his name, Donald?
His name was Fred Trump. And he had a problem with alcohol. He got addicted to it because they say alcohol is tougher than drugs to get off of. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I'm in recovery, actually. I've been in recovery, so like most of the last 10 years.
From alcohol?
From drugs and alcohol.
So which is worse? For
me, drugs is the problem, but if I have a drink, then it's tougher for me to prevent myself from getting it.
It sets off a chain.
Yeah.
But which is harder to quit? I've heard alcohol is harder to quit than drugs, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine because it's probably more readily available.
And it's social, and you're sitting and everyone's drinking and all.
This is Trump's peak. He's never, ever, ever as relatable or interesting as when he talks about his brother who died from substance use disorders of various kinds. He still sounds confused. He's still slurring. It's all crazy, but that's as interesting and personal as Trump can be. There was one moment where it's like, what worlds colliding? Theo Von kind of teaching Donald Trump about how cocaine works.
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, So not just,
That's down and dirty, right?
Yeah, and it was.
But you don't anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it, too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol for the most part.
Right, yeah, but what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah. Cocaine
so you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You'll be out on your own porch, and you'll be your own street lamp. You're freaking...
And is that a good feeling?
No,
it's
horrible.
A miserable feeling.
But you do it anyway, just like the guy you're saying with the scotch. Like you. I would.
Okay, so anyway, I mean, very interesting. I just don't know that this helps Trump win. And then finally, maybe just a funny moment, when Trump mentions the economy was great when he was president, Theo Von says, oh yeah, it was so good that my cousin bought a boat. And I can't tell if he's kidding.
We had the greatest economy in history. When I was president, we had
my cousin got a boat.
Numbers. Yeah, we had the best job numbers.
Again, I have no clue if that is for real or not, but I question Trump's strategy of doing the Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross, and Theo Von's shows as a viable strategy for winning this election. I want to hear from you about it. Let me know what you think. In the past, every time I move to a new place or it's time to redecorate, the one thing I have no clue about is window treatments. What's the best color? What's the right type of blind? What about this weirdly shaped window? I don't know how to install them. And that's why I turn to 3-Day Blinds for blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery. Our sponsor, 3-Day Blinds, is the leading manufacturer of custom window treatments in the U.S., and my audience can buy one and get one 50% off. 3-Day Blinds has local, professionally trained design consultants who can come to your home, guide you on the right blinds for you. If you're not handy, no problem, because 3-Day Blinds will come to your house and install everything. And with over 45 years in business, 3-Day Blinds is the highest rated blinds company on Trustpilot. Right now, 3-Day Blinds is offering my audience, buy one, get one 50% off on custom blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery, even smart motorized products. For a free, no charge, no obligation consultation, go to 3dayblinds.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.